Hello and welcome to another Stadia News Roundup. So we've got some midweek updates, some free play days coming, a massive sale that's kicking off, a couple of new titles and some exciting new features as well coming across to Stadia. And some iOS, not exclusives, but ones that were available for Android that are finally rolling out for iOS users as well, which are really exciting. So let's get on with the news. It'll be a relatively quick one, but let's get going. So first up, the free play days. I think that's what they call it anyway. I always get it wrong, call it free play weekends. But 14th to the 18th of this month, you'll be able to play Borderlands 3 if you are a Stadia Pro subscriber, which is really cool. This is a game that me and Liam played a lot of on the PC. We played a lot of co-op. It's one of those games that's just got a lot of action going on. It's a shooter-looter, so there's loads of weapons to collect, loads of mods, and all the bits that you can put into your armor. It's just a whole load of fun, especially if you play it with friends. It's definitely one worthwhile checking out at the moment and having a blast with, especially if you are a Pro subscriber. And one of the great things is it is currently on sale, so if you do want to pick it up and you have a blast playing it this weekend, you can currently get it on a really discounted price, along with all things like the DLC and the Season Pass and everything. So definitely worthwhile checking out, and if you do enjoy it, at least then you can pick it up for a decent price. If you're not a Pro subscriber, then it's obviously on sale as well, so definitely worthwhile checking out if you are looking to play Borderlands 3. Moving across, Destiny 2 Season 15 is getting some like dino loot coming across to it, or for that Halloween event, which looks kind of random. So you'll be able to collect dino themed loot throughout the game and have different kind of quests and missions available to you as well. Always random what they do at this time of year with Destiny. So that's rolling out on Google Stadia, so you'll be able to play the new theme for Destiny 2 and go out and get your dino themed stuff. New games, we are getting a Ben 10 Power Trip. So again, this is more of a game focused towards the kids. However, it is focused at, I guess, an older range of kids as well. So it's an open world action game where you go off exploring. And if you've watched the Ben 10 series, I personally haven't, it's basically, he's got all these different powers. You can transform into different sort of like superhero type things and different forms. It looks a whole lot of fun. There's loads of different puzzles to be had, lots of exploration, different combat types. And this is all kind of thrown into an open world as well, so there's a lot to explore for the kids and it just looks a lot of fun. So if you do have kids, it's probably one worthwhile exploring. It's got some really good reviews as well, so it's not sort of like some of the cheap knockoff sort of TV kid games that we get a lot of the time. This one actually looks like it's pretty well thought out and very well received. Now, moving on to some of the new features, we'll start off with Direct Touch for iOS, and this is one I am really excited about. So we are primarily Apple users, so I have an iPad, I have the iPhone as well, and one thing that's been lacking, and I really was disappointed when Humankind came out, was it didn't have Direct Touch. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what this is, basically it translates the controls into actual touch controls, rather than at the moment, for example, if you played Humankind on an iPad before this rolled out, it would have touch controls available, but they would be like an overlay, so it was trying to emulate a controller, and it was just really fidgety and not particularly great. Now it works as if like you were getting a native tablet application, so how they work, in fact, you like click on your units and you can tap them where to go, and it all translates really nicely. So this is something we are incredibly excited about, because it just opens up the range of games that should be available to people. So they would feel like they're made for a mobile phone or for a tablet, and it can translate that so nicely. At the moment it's for Humankind on iOS, and hopefully it'll roll out to other types of games as well. I can definitely see this being a massive hit in things like RPGs or turn-based games, because it just makes so much sense, and can't wait to see how this expands and gets rolled out. Fingers crossed developers get on board with this, because it's such a killer feature, at least in my opinion, because like we said numerous times, is the fact that so many people with cloud gaming like to play on phones, they like to play on tablets. It gives them a new way to play those games, and being able to do those without having to pick up a controller like the Backbone or the Razer Kishi or something like that, and just play on the device without having those fidgety touch controls, but ones that seem like they were made for the device, that will just make cloud gaming so much more accessible and so much more user friendly as well. So very excited to see this kicking off. The other new updates are things for party features. So at the moment you've been able to have things like private parties, so you can invite your friends and stuff like that. However, now you'll be able to have public parties, which is a big win. So what you'll be able to do is search for a type of game. You can join different parties without having to have them added as friends and stuff like that. If you are going into a game like FIFA, for example, or Far Cry 6, you'll be able to open up a public party, so that way people will be able to see that you're playing it, and they'll be able to join you, and they'll be able to play the game with you. That's a massive win, because one of the things that we see time and time again is people kind of complaining about the multiplayer on Google Stadia, and I don't blame them, because it can be relatively difficult sometimes to find people. Sometimes the matchmaking in games is just It's crap. Let's just put it that way. So by doing this, Stadia are hopefully going to fix some of those issues. In fact, you'll be able to make parties, I guess, play with different people and then add them as friends later on if there seems to be a reliable partner for those games. And fingers crossed it just starts to fix some of those multiplayer issues that we've seen in the past. It definitely seems like a step in the right direction. It's nice to see that they're taking this sort of thing into consideration as well, and definitely a new way to be able to play with different people. So, one worthwhile checking out. And the final thing to talk about with Google Stadia this week is there is a huge autumn sale kicking off, and there are some absolutely massive discounts to be had. It seems like there is always a sale with Google Stadia, and I remember when we first reviewed Google Stadia and there was like no sales when we played it, and we talked about it just being far too expensive. And ever since then, there just seems to have been some kind of sale going on. So there's some absolutely killer deals to be had, so it's worth having a browse through, see what you like. Remember, if you aren't subscribed to Google Stadia on the Pro subscription, you can still buy the games, you can still get them on sale, and you'll still be able to stream them without paying for a monthly subscription. That's something that does come up when we talk about Stadia a lot in the comments, is you have to pay a subscription. You don't. So you can buy those games on sale and stream them. It just means it'll be 1080 rather than 4K, but it doesn't really matter too much. So definitely worthwhile having a browse through all those games, seeing what's available. Like I said at the beginning, Borderlands 3 is on sale. Things like Red Dead Redemption 2 is on sale, and that's kind of got us tempted because I don't currently have it on PC or any other platform, and one I've always wanted to play. So toying with the idea of picking that one up. So that's it for Google Stadia this week, unless anything else comes out further down the line. But yeah, some really exciting stuff there. There's not a huge amount of news, I guess, but things like that direct touch has got me really, really excited, as you can probably tell since I'm ranting about it quite a lot. Some fantastic savings to be had, and obviously if you are into that looter-shooter mechanic, Borderlands 3 free to play as of tomorrow, so be sure to try that one out and see how it goes for you. Let us know what you're going to be playing. Is there anything in the sales that really stands out to you that you're going to be picking up? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you hit that like button because it just helps Google to kind of show these videos off to other people. In the meantime, stay safe, and we'll be back in the future with some more awesome content. Bye.